Okay, pantry is done. Now we're gonna move on to fridge and freezer, and this is gonna be a process. Definitely not done in one or maybe 2 days, I don't know. But I do have 2 refrigerator freezer combos. So I've got this one in the kitchen, and then later on we'll go out into the garage. I've got one in the garage, not as big as this one, but I do have a fridge freezer combo in the garage, as well as like a deep freezer, so a standing freezer. So we've got lots to go through and clean, and I'm gonna do the same thing where I make a list of things that I know I want to just have in the back of my mind on paper when I meal plan. So I was gonna do both refrigerators first, but I'm gonna do this freezer because one, I know there's something under all this crap that has spilt. Some kind of ice cream, because the last time I used some ground turkey out of here, it had like chocolate ice cream all over the top of the packaging. So I know I might have to do some like deep scrubbing in here. And 2, the dog's food was just delivered. So this is a great time for me to go ahead and take everything out, give it a good wipe down, and then that way I can put the fresh dog food in here. You can see they've only got 3 each here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take everything out. I'll show you guys how dirty it is. Well, I don't even remember the last time I've done this. It's been a while. It's been a while. My husband likes to sing that song every time I say it's been a while. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and take everything out, show you guys what it looks like. Okay, yep, it was chocolate ice cream. I will show you guys up close here in a second, but here's everything. There was no rhyme or reason other than the dog food in this freezer. It's just like whatever we're eating at the moment, it just gets shoved in there. So I think I'm going to try to set it up for the summertime. We shall see. For now, I'm gonna put the same stuff back in there, and then I'll do the reorganizing once I hit the outside freezers. But I think I'm going to focus on breakfast items inside. We'll see what I have like the least amount of. So I've got some cookies here. These are from Wild Grain. I get a box about once a month. Sometimes I pause it, but I haven't cooked any of their cookies yet. So this is actually on my meal prep list of things to do. I need to bake these cookies up because I know once I bake them, the kids are gonna eat them real quick. I've got some chicken breast strips in here. We're actually about to finish off this bag. I'm going to make these with some French fries, if we have French fries, and the last of the, like, if you guys watch my pantry clean out video, which should have been the last video you guys saw. I don't know if I'm gonna post these together or not. But in the pantry video, I have a little bit of the like white gravy shaker mix left, and I'm gonna make the gravy. I was gonna do like biscuits and gravy, but my kids just like dunking, you know, like from Whataburger, they like dunking chicken nuggets and French fries into white gravy. So I was like, you know what, they would prefer that versus a breakfast casserole. So that's what I'm gonna do with that to get that out of my pantry and use it up. And then I'll use up the rest of this bag because I know we have more of these bags outside in the freezer. We've got some pot stickers. There's only a few of these left, as well as these. Are these pot stickers also? Yes, these are pot stickers. Sometimes they're called dumplings. You know, whatever. They're all the same to me. Pot stickers, dumplings. But maybe I'll throw those on the side of a dinner one night. I need to write these down so I know, like, I wanna use these up, I wanna bake the cookies. I've got a couple of these left. Bryce was going through a phase where he was eating like a lot of breakfast casseroles, I think, or not breakfast casseroles, burritos and sandwiches. And I think it feels like there's only 2 left in here, so I need to ask him. Maybe he just forgot about them because these were on like the very bottom of the freezer, so. We'll see about that. And we've got some waffles. I guess I don't need to go over like every little thing, but you can see it's a mishmash in here. Here's where, look at that. Like, what the heck happened? I don't know. Obviously a child did that. So I'm gonna try to wash all of this off. At least it's just on the packaging. It's on this one. It's on this bag of onion rings, on the peas. And then the only thing I'm bummed about is it's on this, but it looks like it's on the inside, and I don't want to have to wash all these cranberries, so don't get mad, but I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna throw these away. So that's just what it is, okay? And then we keep ice packs inside here, so I've got those. Typically the ice packs we keep in here, so I went ahead and rinsed this out just because it had like frozen clumps in here. This is like our, if we want to make ice cubes our refrigerator makes ice cubes and it just dumps it into this. So, but we don't do that because we get ice out of the door. So anyway, we just keep those in there. And I think, yeah, I think I need to put on my list crushed garlic because I like to have ginger and garlic on hand. And unless I have the garlic outside, I like to keep them in here in this so they don't get lost because they're so small. So I'll have to double check on that, add that to my list. And then I bought this, I think I got it from Temu. The girls used it for a little while, but we really don't use Stanleys anymore. We use the hydro jugs because they don't leak and I just like them better. So I don't think we have any Stanleys actually. I think I donated all of our Stanleys and we just have hydro jugs now, and the girls could use this, but they don't. So they don't care about the ice in it. So that was fun for a little while. The girls used it, but I think I'm gonna add that to my donation pile. And then here's the box of the dog's food. I pay my own money. I'm not sponsored by Farmer's Dog or anything like that. Otherwise you get like a whole spiel of it, but I do like this for the dogs. Oliver has several allergies and he cannot eat dry kibble at all because of, the main thing is the dust mites. He's extremely allergic to dust mites and they like live in all types of kibble. So this has been working great. I used to make this food for a long time, but that's just, I mean, one, probably more expensive, but convenient. All right, and then there's the rest of whatever chocolate happened in this freezer. So I'm hoping I don't have to use too much force to clean this. It's really not that bad, but it's, you know, it's a little dirty. There's dog hair in every aspect of my life. There's some dog hair in here. It just happens. So I am gonna give this a quick clean out and then see how much involved I have to get that out. But I'm gonna keep everything out. I'm not gonna put anything back in here until I get that mess dealt with. Okay, that wasn't too bad. Maybe 5 minutes of scrubbing and I got it all out. I started with a rag that was not heavy duty enough. I had to resort to Mr. Scrub Daddy, but he did it, like I said, maybe 5 minutes of scrubbing with a little oomph, you know, a little push behind that. Did you find a piece of food to eat, Maple? She's been right here, like waiting for crumbs. So now that I've got this cleaned out, I'm gonna put everything back in it. But like I mentioned, everything's gonna go back in here. The things that I'm pretty sure we're gonna keep. I already asked Bryce about the burritos and he's like, he said he does not like the big chunks of potato in there and nobody in the house is gonna eat them. So there's only 2 left. I am gonna trash that. And the cranberries, but everything else I'm gonna put back in here. Just kind of fit it in this spot because the dog food goes here. Okay, box has been emptied. Everything is in the freezer. I wrote a list, made a list of everything that's in here that I want to make sure that I know that I have, specifically the meat and like the sides and stuff, the veggies. I did put the 2 different kinds of taquitos together because we cook those at the same time. I basically use those for the same dish. So I did put those together. And then what else did I put together? The pot stickers, because same thing, we just pan fry them in a little oil on the stovetop. So I put those pot stickers together just to save a little space. And once I head outside, I only did this, I'm planning on doing it tomorrow. I did this one a day early just because their food got delivered. So I was like, I don't want to put all of it in here and then have to take it all out. So another thing I did was I just put the bananas up here because I feel like they're gonna fall out. So I put those up here, and then these are the Premier Protein waffles, and I took them out of the box because there's only 2 left and 2 is a serving. So I'm gonna go ahead and have those for breakfast tomorrow. And that way, that's, you know, one more thing out of my freezer. And then one thing, okay. One thing, the dogs are playing, that I'm going to toss that I wasn't planning on tossing is this chicken because it's way too freezer burnt. Since it was in this freezer, I like to keep all my meat outside. This must have been something that was in the refrigerator and I didn't use it for what it was intended. And so the end of the week, I threw it in the freezer and then I forgot about it. It got, you know, things got put on top of it. It was the bottom of that freezer and it's been in there since October 24. So it is, I don't know if it's showing up on camera, but it looks gross. This is not even, you know, fresh looking chicken anymore. It's too far gone. So I am unfortunately throwing away $8.13 apparently worth of a chicken. That is my bad. But I'm hoping that's why this list is going to help me out by making a list of everything. maybe I'll even go as far as, no, I don't need to like write where it's gonna be, because I'm going to have an organizational system. Like I'm gonna put all meat together, all veggies together, all breakfast stuff, all like fruit. I know I have lots of different fruit outside because the girls were in like a smoothie phase for a while now. So anyway, I think that's gonna help me out moving forward, especially for the summer, you know, the craziness of the summer. So, all right, the inside freezer done. Unfortunately, this is getting thrown away, and then we're gonna move outside. I guess we'll just do the freezers first and then the refrigerator. I don't know, maybe I'll probably do the fridges first actually. So tomorrow we're gonna start off with the 2 refrigerators, and then we'll do the rest of the freezer areas. Okay, it's the next day. I had my 2 waffles for breakfast and I have 1 cup of coffee in. I need to make my 2nd cup here in a little bit, but we are going to tackle the inside fridge. I do have, is there 2 or 3 things in here? I think there's 2 things in here that are new, like from groceries. I was trying to get this before I had groceries delivered, but I did get a small Sam's Club delivered this morning. You guys will see, I don't know if I'm gonna share the grocery haul first, or I think I'm gonna do like the pantry and the fridge first and then the grocery haul, so you guys can see like what we started with, and then you'll see the grocery haul and what I'm filling everything with. So I did get a little bit of Sam's delivered already. You guys will see the full Sam's haul coming up. I went ahead and got a few things early because they were on sale and I didn't want to risk like them not having them in stock with the coupon and all that. So anyway, this is my kitchen fridge with all the things we typically keep, like leftovers and quick foods in here, the dog food obviously, and like snack stuff, as well as condiments. And my refrigerator is going to ding like every 30 seconds. I don't know why. I wish I could like reset the timer. So I'm gonna close it and show you guys what's in this door right here. So I do need to take everything out. I'm gonna do that. So like I said, condiments and whatnot, milk. Typically this is where I keep sticks of butter. So obviously we are out. We only have 1 stick, which we do keep a stick on the counter at a time. So that was added to the grocery list. So we've got condiments on that side. We've got condiments on this side. And then this is like our cheese drawer. So that's what we're working with. And then we've got produce. And then there's no rhyme or reason to anything else other than like the bread products are always like shoved up here. Obviously it's a hot mess and it needs to be cleaned out. I'm sure there's a couple things I have to throw away, like leftovers. I'm really the only one who eats leftovers, and sometimes I like have something else for lunch. I don't eat leftovers, so we are gonna be tossing away some leftovers, and then we'll check dates on everything else. So, all right, next time you guys see this fridge, it will be empty. Okay, I've got everything out of the fridge, out on the counters. And then these are the items that I'm going to be throwing away. So leftovers, of course, sometimes there's not this much. Sometimes this is about right at the end of a week, what I end up tossing. Bryce and I actually had leftovers twice this week, so that's nice. Now that the kids are home from school for the summer, I feel like we'll go through the leftovers a little bit more depending on what it is. Like I made a box of rice, Spanish rice, and really I planned that meal poorly because Pearl has been at a friend's house the last 2 nights and she is my non-picky eater. She'll eat anything. We wouldn't have had to throw this away if I planned it for nights that she was home. So that was just my bad, but it being the summer, the sleepover is gonna be last minute and that's just gonna be something that we deal with. I don't even remember, I think I just bought this because Rose was eating red bell peppers a lot and she ended up not eating it the last couple weeks. I think I bought this 2, maybe 3 weeks ago, and it's like completely, it's very soft and it's completely wrinkled. So that's gonna have to be thrown away. I only use celery for 1 recipe, so I need to get better when I buy celery. I need to make sure that I like cut it up for snacking because obviously we'll eat it if it's prepped. So definitely need to keep that in mind this summer. These items are like very expired, like 2024. So they're going in the trash. These blackberries turned pretty quickly. I don't know why, but there's several moldy ones in there, as well as my basil. I was gonna make the caprese salad. I didn't do it this week. And typically, if I buy basil, and I make it like on the weekend, I can just get away with it. But that basil is extremely slimy. So these are the items that I'm gonna be throwing away. This is, I mean, it says it's expired, but it still looks good, and we're actually using the rest of this tonight. So I'm gonna leave this out because I'm gonna go ahead and prep it. It's one less step I have to do later on tonight. I'm gonna cut it into smaller pieces, so that way that's ready for me. So we'll be able to utilize that tonight. And then as far as everything else is going back in the fridge. And the fridge isn't, I mean, it definitely needs a wipe down, but it's not as bad as I thought. So there's, you know, a couple spills and like dried, you know, what happens to milk sometimes when it drips, it gets like all dry and flaky. So just a few things to clean out. And then of course, like the produce drawers are typically the worst, but as far as being dirty and, you know, like messy and needing to wipe it out, it's really not that bad. Just like I said, the produce drawers are always the worst. So I'm gonna go ahead and give the fridge a quick wipe down. I'm just using a rag, a warm rag, wet rag with a little bit of dish soap. Okay, fridge is cleaned. Glad I didn't have to do any like heavy scrubbing like I did the freezer. So now I'm going to fill it back up. Okay, fridge is as clean and organized as it's going to be pre-grocery haul. I did move a few things around. I mean, they won't stay like this because, you know, when you're in and out of places, you kind of just are in and out. You just put things back wherever there's space, not necessarily where they go. So I tried to put things together, like the condiments that the kids use the most often, some other favorites of theirs, but they don't, you know, necessarily use all the time, drink items. You guys, both of these are completely full. Rose put it on the list like 2 or 3 weeks in a row, and I don't know why, because we had one in the fridge completely full. So we don't need Hershey syrup for a while, and she doesn't even use this all the time. So I was like, dang girl. And they both been opened, otherwise I would donate one just to save a little space. But here's what we've got going on in here. I tried to put the breakfast stuff together, so instead of like all the bread just like clumped together, I spread it out so the kids can see it more clearly. I do have like a couple hot dog, and we're just gonna listen to that beep, okay? We have a couple of hot dog and hamburger buns back there, but we are gonna have those in a few days. So I do have to pick up more because we only have 2 hamburger and like 4 hot dogs. So I am picking up more buns, but that's just how it is. And then Mark was like, hey, I'm gonna eat some of that pizza today for leftovers. I was like, are you sure? He's like, yes. So I kept the pizza. I did not toss that. So he's gonna have that for lunch today. Like I said, I tried to keep the breakfast stuff here. And then the hot dogs are something that I got from Sam's Club, so those are new. And then also the Baby Bell cheeses I got from Sam's Club. And once I film it, I will open this and it'll just be, you know, dumped out in here. So the produce in here, and I kind of just put, you know, stuff here. Those will be gone by the end of the day. It's edible cookie dough, so I'm sure the kids will eat that. And then I put the dog stuff here together. I mean, the kids sometimes snack on the baby carrots, but the dogs get that as a snack sometimes if they come in when I want to come in and not stay outside forever. I say, do you want a carrot? And they'll come in and I'll give them a little carrot. So all right, that's what this fridge is looking like. Let's go out into my garage. We are in my garage. So I have this fridge, freezer, as well as, and my garage is a hot mess. Okay, so we're just not gonna talk about that. And then I have this, which is a big standing freezer, and Pearl likes to write fun things on here for everybody to see. So we're gonna do that last because that's gonna be a chore. This shouldn't be that bad because we actually don't have a ton in here. But here's our secondary fridge where we typically keep drinks and any overflow. So, and then like things that I just keep out here. So like typically I keep yogurt out here. I should keep it inside, but we just, you know, we just keep it out here. If I have an excess of produce, I'll move all the items that I need for dinners out here, and I'll keep it here. And then I'll keep like the snacking produce inside for the kids. So like, I don't know why this is leftover from a taco night. I had taco salad. This should be inside because we're gonna forget about this because it's out here. So I need to move that inside. But this is the outside fridge. So I'm going to take everything out. Since we're in the garage, I'm just going to, I was gonna say do one thing, one line at a time, but I think I'm just gonna put everything, I have my coolers right here for when I do the freezer. So I think I'm gonna put everything in the cooler. That way I can wipe it all down and then put everything back in. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. This one, you know, same, it's not that dirty, but it could use a wipe down for sure. Yeah, like see, you can tell that produce drawers are always messy. And this one, you know, holds produce sometimes, but lately it's been our yogurt. But yeah, not too bad. I was looking to see if I could like find a fly in here because sometimes there will be a dead fly in here since we are in the garage. But okay, like I need to take bread off my list. I put bread on my list, but I have a whole loaf out here, so I do not need bread. I need to take that off my grocery list. But okay, let me take everything out and then I'll show you guys what it looks like empty, even though it is pretty empty. Okay, I got everything in my little blue cooler right here. Eggs are just hanging out on top. There's actually like maybe 6 eggs left in there. So I need to add eggs to the list. But this I am gonna take inside. So I'm about to go in to get my rag. So I'm gonna take that inside. And then this is a yogurt that Mark loves, but it's expired. So I'm going to throw that away, grab my rag, and then we will wipe down the fridge. Oh hey, as I was closing, I found a fly. Don't be triggered. It happens. Okay, it happens. This is a garage fridge. There may be 1 or 2 in the freezer, but we're gonna clean it out. Okay, that took me a little longer than I expected with like the in and out, rinsing out the rag, and the dogs, of course, following me everywhere. And the cats were trying to get into the garage and we try to keep them out, or you know, stay in the house, whatever. So anyway, that took me a little bit longer. Oh, there's a fresh fly in here. Get out, get out. Don't get trapped in here and die. Thank you. Okay, all right. Cleaned out the fridge. I'm gonna close it because I don't want no flies to come in here. I am going to fill it back up with everything and then we will tackle this freezer, which hopefully isn't that bad. I'm really pushing that one off as long as I can. This fridge is clean and organized and ready for a stock up. I added Premier Protein to the grocery list. I added eggs to the grocery list. We're good on drinks. I might have to stock up next week, but we're good for now. These ones, you're like, why are you adding Premier Protein to your grocery list when you have all these? We don't drink these, we use these for desserts. So you guys will see in an upcoming meal prep video. I'm gonna make some pudding. I have a couple like milkshake recipes I wanna try and pies. So I save this. These are good until next February. So we don't really drink those. Mark does occasionally, but typically I use those for desserts. We drink these ones. And speaking of drinking, it is that time. It's like mid-morning, early afternoon. Well, not early afternoon because it's not lunchtime yet, but it's late morning. So I'm gonna have my second cup of coffee, which I always mix with a Premier Protein, and then I'm gonna have this yogurt. And I've got my other yogurts in here. This one's empty, nice and clean, no flies. Oh, I just saw a fly. You guys, it's fly season. I hate early summer when it's so hot outside, especially with, well, we have rain now. Look at the, get out, get out. Let me close this. Especially right now when we don't have a ton of rain. So the flies are always looking for like the cool areas. I like the fall, winter, and early spring when there's no flies. It's summertime, it's fly season, and it's not ideal. But I'm gonna take a break, have my coffee and my yogurt, and then we will work on this freezer. I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like. I don't even think there's any rhyme or reason to it. Things have just been shoved in here. Ooh, I'm losing my voice, goodness. So we're gonna have to clean this out, wipe it down. Hopefully it's not too bad. I don't think it should be. This one hardly ever gets touched. We forget about it. So I need to check like for freezer burn and all the things. Hopefully I don't have to toss out too much, but we shall see. Here's the freezer. Definitely have just a couple spills that I need to clean up. I pulled everything out except for the ice cream. So there's ice cream and popsicles in here. I don't want them to melt. So I am going to clean these first top two, and then I'll take these out and clean these two drawers. I think I am going to leave because I'm, like I said, with the inside freezer, I'm cleaning out, but I also want to reorganize. So I think I'm going to focus on this being more of like the kids' freezer setup. So I'm going to keep the ice cream and popsicles in here. And then I'm going to pull out some of, like, Bryce has a few freezer meals, and the girls have like frozen fruit and stuff that they like to use for smoothies. So I think that's how I'm gonna set this up. We'll see once I tackle that big freezer and how much I have. So I may not put everything back in here that I take out. I may keep it in the cooler while I do the big one, so the big freezer. So let me wipe these two down. I'll go ahead and throw the stuff in here for now, and then I'll get these done, and then we'll try to do like a little reorganizing. With that in mind, let me go ahead and show you this big freezer, since I will be pulling out some stuff from here to put in there. It's actually, we've been working on it the last 2 weeks, so it was like completely overflowing where it was hard to even see what was in here. So we've made some, you know, a little dent in what was in here. Every single shelf was like seriously overflowing. Like you can see there's some space now, but it's not organized, and I did originally have it organized. I had like veggies in a bin, meat in a bin, and like the box stuff, you know, out here where you could see it. So with that, oh yeah, look, I've got frozen blueberries, and I added that to my grocery list, so I can take that off my list, thank goodness. So anyway, yeah, some of this stuff I'm gonna take out, like these acai packs. Rose likes acai bowls, and then all this frozen fruit the girls use for smoothies. So I'm gonna put that. See, she hasn't even, we bought these a couple weeks ago and she hasn't even used these. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that all in this freezer. That way I can let them know, hey, for the summertime, this is your freezer, and this one will stay like the veggies, the meat, and things that I want for meals. Quick meals like pizza boxes and stuff like that, you know, obviously fit in here. So, okay, let me go ahead and clean this one out, and we'll go from there. Okay, I wish I could open the garage door, but the dogs like to come out here with me, and I don't want to risk them like running off or anything. So I'm sweaty, but this is, I'm gonna go over like the final organizational whatever I come up with at the end for the freezers. But I already have the inside freezer set up as, well, one, the dog food, and then two, like breakfast items. This one I'm keeping more kid friendly. I've got like ice cream and popsicles down here, and then the smoothie items here, any kind of frozen fruit that we have. And then there was more like ice cream type stuff. I didn't want to jam pack this, so I've just got like these little mochi boxes up here, and then I've got freezer meals that Bryce enjoys here. And in here for now, unless I get like more kid stuff, I might move this to the big freezer later on, but for now I have all my like frozen nuts in here. Basically it's just pecans I use for baking. So I've got a lot of that we get from a local place. So that's what's going on in here. I pulled out everything that was not breakfast related from the inside, and that's in here because it'll be going in this bad boy. And then it's a little less empty because again, I pulled out all the breakfast stuff except for these. I do have room in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put those in there, because sometimes we don't have these for breakfast. We have them for like dinner, or not dinner, dessert. Like I'll just make it as just to have a dessert. So I don't know about those yet. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna put them inside just to create more space, because there is room in there. But other than that, I do need, oh, I left the blueberries in here because I'm using those for a recipe and I don't want the girls to use them. So I'm keeping those there. But other than that, I'm gonna pull everything out of this now and put it in my big cooler. And then this one will be easier to wipe down because it's like wire racks. I'm gonna take that rack out. You can see a couple flies and just crumbs. And then I didn't even look in here. Oh, it's like typical little crumbs, a few spills, leaks, whatnot. So let's empty this out, give it a good wipe down, and then I'm gonna put everything back in and try to organize it the best that I can. So it's just easier this summer when I'm, and not just the summertime, but you know, like when you're meal planning and stuff, it'll be easier for me to actually see what we have. Okay, update. I could not empty the entire freezer. Both of my coolers are full and I'm in South Texas, so it is hot and I don't want anything to thaw too much. So what I did was I kept what I needed over here. I wiped down the door and then I started moving over things that I think I might keep in the door. And then now I left everything here. I'm gonna clean out these bins because some of them are, you know, a little icky, not too bad, but you know, they're empty, so I might as well give them a good wipe down. And then I'm gonna fill the bins and wipe down the bottom. This is probably gonna be the most disgusting just because, you know, it's the bottom of the freezer that, you know, hair gets in there and whatnot. So I'm going to clean out that and then we'll fill it with, you know, the stuff from the coolers. So just an update. I have so much stuff in here. I could not empty it all. I mean, I could, but I don't want to. I don't want to like set it on the ground or, you know, on top of the coolers because the coolers are kind of, they're dusty as well from being in the garage. So, all right, at least I got this clean. It looks much better. And then, like I said, I'm gonna work on the baskets. You guys, I had to show you, one, this is what happens in the bottom of a freezer. It, you know, collects all the crumbs and whatever flies get in here, but we never took out the little styrofoam or whatever this is from when we unpacked the freezer when we bought this freezer, and we've had it for several years. We never took this out. Okay, so I'm gonna give this a good wipe and then finish filling it and then we'll be done. Okay, I am done. I am so sweaty. I should not be wearing like a lounge set because it's hot in that garage. I was like, you know what? I'm just doing a little picking up and cleaning today. I'll be all comfy. No, I'm sweating. Okay, so this is how this freezer looks. Again, we've got like ice packs and my little ginger here, so I know that I have it. One of the kids put some chocolate in here to freeze, yay. Frozen chocolate is the best. Oliver's dog food stays up here. I moved the bags of blueberries in here. I think I only need one bag, so I may move the other one, you know, after I'm done. I'm prepping some overnight oats, and I'm gonna make as many as I can, well, unless I run out of jars, either as many jars as I have or when I run out of ingredients, just to have it prepped in the fridge for breakfast option, because summertime is nothing but like running around or just lounging about. It's one or the other, sometimes multiple things in the same day, you know? So I just wanna have easy meals on hand, and Pearl likes overnight oats as well. So I'm not the only one who eats them. Mark does occasionally. He prefers hot oatmeal. He doesn't like the cold stuff. Oh, hush up, freezer. So anyway, I'm leaving the blueberries in here because I am going to be doing that tomorrow. This is the other item that I got from Sam's Club. So as soon as I film that, I am going to take everything. Taking as much as you can out of boxes definitely saves room. So I'm going to empty those breakfast sandwiches into here and recycle the box. But this is all breakfast items other than the cookies. I'm going to bake all 3 of those cookies as well. I've got 3 different packages here. So that's not technically breakfast, but I'm meal prepping though. So I brought everything that I know that I'm going to use that I have like room for in here. So it's less I have to go outside for. But other than that, this is like the breakfast area. Now let's go outside back into the heat. Both of my coolers are empty. All right, so in here, I didn't add anything else, but we've got frozen fruit, we've got ice cream and popsicles. So that's what's in this one. And then over here, we've got, it'll be like, it's the kids' domain for sure. So we've got some frozen meals that Bryce likes, some more like ice cream items down there. I kept the pecans down there, so that's in there. And last but not least is this big guy. All right, and here is this freezer. So a couple things out of here are gonna be gone over the next day, 2 days, because I have them on the meal plan for lunch and dinner. But as far as organizing, I did the best that I could. So up here I have various meats, and this one I have chicken, and this one I have seafood or fish. This is veggies, and I should like keep all the meat right here, but this one is overflowing, so I swapped these out. This is beef, it's all beef. There's like ground beef and burger patties and whatnot in there. This is like the pizza section. So I am gonna add bagel bites. You guys are gonna like see my grocery haul and be like, girl, you got plenty of food. I know I do, but we're stocking up, okay? We're stocking up. I'm buying even more, just so it's less that I have to get out and go to the grocery store. I mean, delivery is fantastic, but I kind of hate doing it every single week. So I figure doing like a big stock up at the beginning of summer and then just whittling down from there. So I'm gonna be excited to see what the pantry and the freezer looks like, mainly the freezer, at the end of the summer. We'll see. But I like staying stocked up. I like having things on hand. So anyway, I'm gonna get bagel bites because the kids like that. We have pizza rolls. The cauliflower crust is delicious. I definitely don't need any baked fried chicken at all, because breaded chicken, because yeah, Bryce was eating this all the time, so I stocked up, but he hasn't eaten it in forever. So I'm actually making the rest of this bag and the rest of this for lunch today with the gravy packet that I have in the pantry. And so those 3 things are gonna be gone. And then this bag is going tonight because I'm making like an Alfredo, chicken broccoli Alfredo dish. So this bag is going tonight. And then those 2 bags I use for extra protein, whether I add it to salads for my lunch or like the lean cuisine mac and cheese. Those 2 bags I use. I put all like the bready products down here. I definitely am not going through our wild grain stuff super quickly. So I'm gonna pause it for the next month or 2. And that way, like I said, we can get through what we've got. And then in the door, I just kind of put like more bread and pasta and quick things, I guess. So again, this is going, we've got some garlic bread there. We've got like pasta items, rice there. Here's our lean cuisines, Mark's favorite, my favorite. Corn dogs for Rose and Pearl. And then we've got some like side options here, pot stickers, and then some quick meals there, taquitos, those things. And mini tacos. I'm out of breath. Like, I'm trying to do this quick because I've already had the light went out like twice. I had to keep shutting the freezer door because it's so hot. So anyway, I'm happy with how this looks. I know everything we've got. I added it to my freezer list. So I have a pantry list and a freezer list. And we can, you know, make the most of that this summer and when I'm grocery or meal planning and whatnot. So let's go back inside. Turn the light off. Ah, cool air. All right. It's lunchtime, actually. That took quite a bit of time. So here's my freezer list. Freezer list. I've got my pantry list. So when I'm making meals, I can look at this first and go forward. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Give you a little look-see again. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.